The moment India had been waiting for has finally arrived. A shift so monumental is underway that it could redefine the nation's relationship with Saudi Arabia and reshape its global standing. Until now, countries like China and Pakistan had silently drawn massive Saudi investments. But now the spotlight is on India. Saudi Arabia isn't just looking at India anymore. It's rolling out the red carpet with offers of wealth, technology, and long-term collaboration. And this time, the deal isn't one-sided. India is ready, and it's stepping into this partnership with clarity, confidence, and complete control. For decades, India has been heavily reliant on energy imports, especially crude oil. Nearly 80% of its oil needs have come from outside. But that story is about to change. With Saudi Arabia's support, India is preparing to become not just a hub for refined petroleum products, but also a leader in high-end petrochemical exports. What's striking here is the fact that while Saudi Arabia is offering capital and resources, the command of operations will remain with India. That's a masterstroke, one that has already started to make policymakers in Beijing and Islamabad uneasy. The corridors that once fed Chinese and Pakistani economies are now being reoriented, and India is moving into the center. But India isn't chasing capital for the sake of it. It's investing in influence, preparing to shape the rules of global trade and diplomacy. A key decision signals this bold shift. India has lifted the foreign investment cap specifically for Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund, PIF. This $925 billion fund now has the liberty to invest as much as it wants across Indian sectors, a privilege never granted to any other nation. But it's being done with calculated precision. Only reliable, trusted partners like Saudi Arabia are being given this access, ensuring India's security and sovereignty remain intact. This is not just a trade agreement. It's the beginning of something much bigger. Earlier investments by PIF in Reliance Jio and Reliance Retail were just the first steps. Now, discussions are advancing towards investments that could scale up to $100 billion in trade and similar numbers in sectoral investments. If such capital starts flowing, it will have the power to transform India's economy, not just boost it temporarily. Saudi Arabia is already a key player in India's energy ecosystem, being the third largest supplier of crude oil and LPG. Yet, India's exports to Saudi Arabia have remained far behind. That's exactly what this strategy seeks to change. India doesn't just want to keep importing. It wants to convert those imports into value-added products like food, vehicles, chemicals, and even India's iconic basmati rice. Imagine Saudi supermarkets stocked with Indian basmati as a staple. That's the scale India is aiming for. But beneath all this lies a deeper game. It's about power, not just energy power, but geopolitical influence. India wants to be a key player in the future of energy. And in doing so, it is setting up the foundations of a new global supply chain. The plan? Crude comes in from the Gulf, gets refined in India, and then goes to markets in Europe, Africa, and Asia. This gives India unprecedented control over energy logistics and makes it a strategic node in global trade. And the partnership is not limited to oil. Saudi investors are looking closely at India's booming tech, infrastructure, and green energy sectors. Future collaborations may include defense production, space missions, and even digital currency systems. That's the depth of this new bond. The real genius of India's approach is how it blends diplomacy with hard economics. India has watched how the West plays the game, especially the US, and it's now adapting the playbook, but in a uniquely Indian style. Honest, transparent, but razor sharp. This deal also sends a message to Pakistan. For decades, Saudi Arabia was seen as a close ally of Pakistan. But now, Riyadh is making clear strategic shifts. Its economic future seems to lie with India. That means Pakistan, already in economic distress, could lose a crucial pillar of financial support. And China, too, will be forced to watch as India slowly builds its influence across West Asia. This is just the beginning. India is positioning itself not just as an energy consumer, but a price setter. If Indo-Saudi collaboration deepens, They might push for a new pricing benchmark, something that could challenge the dominance of the US and OPEC. And the possibility of a joint Indo-Saudi digital energy grid, powered by AI, solar energy, and green hydrogen, is now very real. This partnership could even influence global financial systems. In a few years, we might see Saudi Arabia using Indian-developed digital currencies, breaking the monopoly of the dollar-led order. Bold? Yes, but no longer far-fetched. In short, India is no longer reacting to global dynamics. It is now shaping them. This deal with Saudi Arabia is the quiet beginning of a new chapter, one where India becomes a central force in global economics, energy, and diplomacy. And the world is starting to notice